Greens YouTube, Captain Machine here, back for another video. And as you can see, we've got the fire out. It's a lovely night. It's just gone 10 o'clock, 10 PM in the wilds of Yorkshire, otherwise known as my back garden. And we've put a fire in place to keep the bears and the tigers away. Or other undesirable types, shall we say, who don't like the light. If an errant vampire comes this way, I can just throw this in his face. If I can overcome my fear check of fire to even pick it up. So, Greens YouTube, it's been a long time. Where have I been? That's probably your first question. So I'll keep this video very short and I will basically just go over what's been happening to me over the last year or so, because it's been at least a year since I did some regular videos, if not longer. In fact, I know it's longer because I can pretty much measure my lack of output by, well, as I say, I got married to a lovely little lady called Nicole, made me the happiest man in the world, and then Nicole gave me a little son called Gabriel, who's now 14 months old. So that's how I know that it's been at least a year since I did regular content, because I don't believe I made any videos while he was around. And he's just started to walk and he's making me very proud. I can't wait for the time where he talks and we can share adventures together. And obviously I'm going to check with his mum to make sure he can come on YouTube and say hi to everybody in his own little way. But before we go into any of that, let's talk about everything else. Time-wise, commitment-wise, having a wife and a little baby boy have sapped my time considerably, to the point where I'm literally just role-playing once a week. And I'm not complaining, because the game I play once a week is a lot of fun. The group I hang out with are great. I really do miss the other groups, and unfortunately I had to cut them down to time constraints and costs and things like that, because in some cases it was transport costs, getting to and from with taxis and things like that, because at the moment I can't drive. Hopefully I'll correct that soon. And the other one was actually just time commitments. It was a case of who's going to look after little Gabriel, and making time obviously for my wife and spending time with my wife as well. So I suspect anyone that's married and a gamer probably knows exactly where I'm coming from. Probably has been in a similar position, especially if the wife is not into the whole role-playing gaming side of things. I mean, she will play Scrabble with me, and we have actually played a couple of games of Flux and a couple of games of Small Worlds, which I'm going to talk about in the future, I suspect. But overall, she doesn't get involved with that, and she's got things I don't get involved with, but we do meet somewhere in the middle, especially when it comes to our love of TV shows and movies. But yeah, so that's what's happened in terms of my personal life. I mean, work-wise, I work for a bank now. I'm an underwriter. I'm not going to say which bank, of course, but I've got a big pay rise came from that job change. I'm really, really enjoying the job, so I'm very happy in that regards. And the extra money to the household means that I can start saving up for maybe my own house, or putting more money into the household so I can maybe add myself to the car insurance when I learn to drive, that kind of thing. And it also means I can continue to keep buying things which I find interesting, which is nice. So now I only play once a week, say Mondays, and we kind of alternate between gems, but I've been running a lovely, lovely Hellfrost game for the best part of 8 to 12 months. It's hard to say when we started. I call it the Heroes of Freeland. And can you see me, guys? Yes, you can. Good. And I've really been enjoying that. Through to happenstance, got in touch with Wiggy, who's a guy who wrote Hellfrost, and he's still writing it. And we struck a bit of a chord. Been talking to him. I asked him if I could do any third-party ventures and post them on the internet, and he asked me not to, because he didn't want the quality to reflect badly upon the line, which makes sense. I'm happy with the decision. He says, after all, it's his IP. I can't really go against that. But he did offer to host any that were any good on the actual Triple Ace Games website. Now, ultimately, what I need to do now is get the muse and the gusto, shall we say, to actually write them properly. because at the moment I am archiving the campaign in a book handwritten, and I'll show you that at some point in the future because I think it looks quite nice. Again, it's a nice little artifact to have. I've been speaking to briefly to Dave Alsop, who is of Slay Industries fame and has also done an awful lot of artwork for Wizards of the Coast and Paizo. So if you look through his collective body of works, you'll find a lot of interesting fantasy and sci-fi stuff in there. I believe he's just finished doing some art for Mantic for their Warzone game. And he gave me some tips and advice on writing and how to motivate yourself to write. And I'm going to try and take that to heart as soon as possible and start writing, because what I want to do is I won't say have a blog, because what's the point of having a vlog and a blog? It doesn't make any sense to me. If I'm going to take the time to write something, I might as well put a camera in front of me and babble on about it. So, but I do want to write material which you guys out there can download. So I'm trying to get an idea of what is the best format for that and how to get it out to you guys. So if anyone's got any suggestions or advice, please get in touch with me with some ideas, maybe even a sample website. If anyone of you out there have got a website like what I'm talking about, please get in touch, let me know and give me some tips and advice, because that's the direction I want to go in towards the end of this year. Will it happen straight away and will it be quick? No, because I've got to get into the habit of doing it, and that's the hard part. I'm also mindful of the fact that a lot of the old guard, when it comes to the RPG Brigade, are going away. I've just recently watched a video from the Gentleman Gamer who basically said he's going to stop regular production of videos for his channel. Now, he didn't say he's going to make the occasional one-off as and when the need strikes him, but I don't expect we're going to see anything from him in the very near future. Let's put some more wood on this fire. There we go. There we go. I don't know if you can see me anymore. Yep, good. Well, good. What about now? Hey. Yeah, don't want to ruin the aesthetic. Right. So, a lot of people that were around doing RPG videos when I started and kind of joined at the same time I did are going or gone. So I thought, rather than just leave my legacy being a disjointed collection of videos, I'd actually rather try and do something. So I'm creating a character that I'm going to be using to make videos with, and the fire might be part of that depending on how this all comes out. So yeah, there's that to look forward to. And in terms of what's going on in my headspace at the moment, well, I'm still into the big fantasy RPG thing. The campfire should just demonstrate that to you. And I really did try to get into Shadowrun, but the more I got into it, the more I wish it was not written the way it was, and it was a bit easier to play. Just move close to the fire. There we go. That a bit better for you guys? Good. So I think I moved away from, because I did say in my video, I think one of the last videos I published up was I was trying to find my game, and I wanted Shadowrun to be my game. And I still like the Shadowrun setting. I've got all the PC games that have come out for it: Shadowrun Returns, Dragonfall and Hong Kong. I haven't played Hong Kong yet, so that was part of their Kickstarter. So yeah, there is that. But the rules as written don't work for me. Gone are the days where I would... got attacked by a moth there. I must look stupid on the camera. Gone are the days where I can sit around the table with 4 or 5 other guys who are super into the game and will memorise and worship the rules for what they are. And we want something simpler and easier. Now I did try the Fate system briefly because I had some good experience at conventions, but in reality I'm not very good at running Fate. And while it does give me some comic book-esque action, or some pulpy action which I was liking, I did try and run it once at convention. I don't think it went very well. So I am defaulting back to Savage Worlds because I've really liked Savage Worlds for a long time. And I've sat down and reread the rulebook recently to realise that some of the rules I was getting were slightly wrong. And I have been running Hellfrost quite considerably recently. I think that's my go-to setting now for fantasy anyway, Hellfrost. I'm really enjoying that. Wiggy does some fantastic work in terms of those books, and he has broke me. He has broke me in terms of my personal promise. Because after I'd finished my collections of like Ravenloft and Werewolf the Apocalypse and Scarred Lands and Call of Cthulhu to some extent, I promised myself I wouldn't do that anymore. I'd buy like enough to play the game and maybe 1 or 2 supplements outside of that and just be happy. Which is kind of what I did with Pathfinder. I bought the core rulebook and then I bought some PDFs, and a friend of mine bought some PDFs and basically combined our libraries of documents basically to create this nice little cluster that we need to run the game. I now literally have everything I would possibly need to run Pathfinder apart from an adventure module of some kind. Assuming of course I wasn't going to write my own. So I'm in a comfortable position when it comes to that. Now I'm aware of the paradox when it comes to that kind of thinking, because ultimately a games company needs to release new products and get you to buy those products to stay in business. So it's a case of finding ways to support the games you love and the company that you love, but not be fanatical about it. I think the word fan, which does mean fanatic, doesn't mean that anymore in the common lexicon. I think fan just means I like this. I like this more than just a passing interest. So I am a fan of Hellfrost. Have I got all the Hellfrost books yet? Not yet. I probably plan to get them. Am I a fan of AAA's games? Yes, I am. Am I going to buy all the settings that they've published? Probably not. I haven't touched any of the Land of Fire stuff that is part of the Hellfrost setting. I am interested to hear what they're doing with the other lands, because they're going to pay to do some other elemental supplements lands going forward. But the Viking aesthetic is proving to be very popular amongst my TIFF group, and me especially. I'm really enjoying the aesthetics of that campaign and the imagery that comes with it, and hopefully it's going to get that muse going, so I'm going to do other things like paint some models again. I haven't done that in a long time. Or create in-game artifacts and hand them to the players, because again I haven't done that in a very long time. So that's where I want to go for the future. So I think I've rambled on enough. Let me stop the video now. Thank you all for coming. I'm going to get this bad boy fired up so it's nice and bright, and then we're going to share some stories by the campfire. Have a good day. Cheers. It's just tea, by the way.